Greetings everyone, this is Danny from harrtravel.com, your sweet experts. And I wanted to answer a question for you today that I get all the time. Do I need a passport to go on a cruise? And the easy answer is yes and no. So sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. One of the types of cruises that you can take where you do not need a passport is called a closed loop cruise. In fact, this is the only kind of cruise that you can take without using a passport. So this is one that starts and finishes in the same city in the United States. So Miami round trip, San Diego round trip, New York round trip. For all of those cruises, currently you can travel with a state issued ID and a birth certificate. You need both of those items unless you are 16 or below. And if you're 16 or below, in that case, you can travel with just the birth certificate. It's still very, very critical that the name on your ID matches the documentation that you have with the cruise line. So you want to make sure that you check it and verify with us at the very, very beginning of the booking process so that we know what ID that you're using to travel. For every other type of cruise travel, if you're starting in one city and finishing in another, even certain cruises where you're visiting certain foreign ports, or if you start or conclude a cruise in a foreign port, like let's say Canada, you always have to have a passport. So in addition to that, I really wanted to make sure that you understand that we always recommend that you do have a passport. Even though it's not required for a closed loop cruise, what I believe is if you get a passport, it's to your great advantage. Because sometimes emergencies do happen, and if you happen to have an emergency in a foreign country and you need to fly home, it's gonna make it much, much easier if you have that passport already. But once again, closed loop cruises in the US, as of right now, you do not have to have a passport to utilize travel. So one critical thing that I want to point out is that these things do change. We always recommend that you check with the State Department and the Department of Homeland Security, and they will let you know exactly what travel documents are needed. In fact, we've put the links in the video description down below, so you can click through those, and those are updated continuously. But I just wanted to say thank you for joining me today for this little bit of information. Whenever you are ready to book your cruise vacation, reach out to Harr Travel. We know the ins and outs of the process, and we can help create the vacation of a lifetime for you and your family at an incredible value.